Hello again, friends, and welcome to Chile Capital Technical Analysis Corner. Today we're going to be embarking on the road to Valhalla. We'll be looking in depth at one of the investments that Chile Capital has made and holds, and the targets and the journey ahead. But before we do that, I wanted to just briefly have a look at the long time silver chart, which everybody knows, the cup and handle, the famous cup and handle from the 1980 to today, and the breakout that we had at the end of last year and into this year. Now, I saw a post on X by Patrick Karim, who I follow. He's an excellent technical analyst, and he had a chart that he published where he said where crude oil goes, silver goes, and where silver goes, crude oil goes. So I have added the crude oil, US crude oil futures onto this silver chart, and as you can see, there's the risk correlation between the two, and sometimes it seems like the crude oil leads and sometimes the silver leads. So that's an interesting thing to contemplate. Now, why did I want to show the silver? Let's get rid of it now. Why did I want to show the long-term chart of silver? Well, what many people perhaps miss is that uranium has a very similar chart to silver. Uranium also has a cup and handle. Not over so many years, but but it does have a cup and handle. So let's have a look at uranium futures. So uranium cup and handle, in my opinion, it's a free monthly. So let's go down to a monthly. Okay. So from 2008, we have a cup, and we have a strange looking handle that failed to trigger. That was in January this year, and so it's going sideways. It's consolidating. It's consolidating, and it's looking like it's going to get back to the line of significance, which is around about 107. Now you can see this is a weekly uranium futures or spot price, or whatever you want to call it. It looks like it already tried to do an inverse head and shoulders here, and that's the target. So it failed to reach that target, which is coincidentally the cup and handle line. Now, if let's say as commodities and precious metals over the next couple of weeks, they're supposed to bottom out and turn, and they start going up. So let's say it gets to here and completes this cup and handle pattern. Well, then the breakout, if that continues on, well, there's a lot of ifs, but once that cup and handle, the handle formation completes and continues on, then what sort of targets are we looking at? Well, the target is from the cup, measuring the cup gives us the answer. So let's have a look. So you have a cup here, and what I did before, like in good cooking programs, here's what I've prepared before. So this line is basically from here to the top, as you can see. So you have to put it wherever the breakout starts. So if it's here, it's here, roughly there, and that gives us a target of about $618. Now this line is the angle of ascent from the bottom to the top here, and so we can put it also at the same spot where the breakout happens or will be, because it still hasn't happened. So let's say that's the spot, right? It gives us incredibly very similar target as this line of $636, and it gives us a time target of 1st December 33. But it could be a little bit earlier. It could be that the breakout happens in May, and not in August, right? Could happen that the breakout can actually take place in May. So then our target becomes August 2033. But this is something very incredibly important to watch when this handle completes and actually makes a breakout. And uranium is not as a famous cup and handle as the silver cup and handle. Nonetheless, this is something incredibly important to watch, because it basically unlocked the flood of interest in uranium sector, because really the people out there, the investors, the general retail is not aware of commodities yet. They're not aware of the importance of investing in gold and silver. They're not aware of importance of investing in energy stocks. But the crude oil shock that we're going through at the moment, the fact that the war is not going to resolve anytime soon, that this is going to drag on, and all the governments around the world, they will be forced to look for alternatives. And it's always when there is a crisis, that's when people focus on what they can do to substitute or improve their situation, and substitute the crude oil with alternatives. What are alternatives when there is a shortage of crude oil? Well, it's either gas, and if gas is not available, then it's coal, and obviously it's also uranium, which is doubly um, should be doubly more popular because it is carbon neutral. It does not release, whether you believe in um, climate change or not, um, whether you think it's the biggest con in the world's history, but there are so many big cons in the world's history, eh? But whether you believe in it or not, this is politically correct fuel or politically correct energy source that we should be focused on if we wanted to alleviate our energy crisis at the moment and into the future. So this, in my opinion, is not a matter of if, but when. And I believe that this is going to trigger um, perhaps as early as May, but definitely by June. I believe that this cup and handle will trigger and will open up the floodgates of interest in uranium. So let's talk about the main topic for today's discussion, which I'm sure you'd be interested to learn more about, and that's alligator energy. Um, let's have a look at the chart. And first of all, this is a monthly chart, and it just gives us a good overview of what Alligator Energy has done in the past. Now, it is Australian uranium-based explorer that has um, several projects that they're working on, and by the looks of things, they will be starting their ISR uranium production uh, in 2030-31. Now, the CEO, Managing Director, Andrea, she's very experienced in ISR, in situ recovery of uranium. And I had to Google this recently, but ISR is by no means a new technique. It's not something that perhaps your average person on the street has heard about, because we all probably, when we think about uranium, we only think about uranium that we dig up, maybe, in a mine. But ISI is a very cool technological step forward, in my opinion, when it makes sense financially to do ISR uranium. It's really good for the visually because you don't disturb the environment as much. You pump through the liquids with the lixiviants. They combine with the uranium. Then you um, grab those liquids and extract the uranium in the plant above wherever the uranium is deposited in all these water channels that are in the ground. So very, very cool idea. But let's not think about the fundamentals. Just look at the chart, because the chart tells us what is going on. And as we can see, in 2020, when uranium was not very popular, Alligator actually bottomed out at a fraction of a cent. Actually, it went down all the way to the bottom. On the 10th of March, 2020, it hit the bottom, which is 0.1 of a cent. But it was only on that one day that it did that, on the 20th of, was it the 10th of March? No, it's on the 10th of March, I believe, 2020. But When I drew the line, this is monthly again, this line of ascent in this chart here, I have put it at 0.2 because I don't know, if we did it at 0.1, the target that I would get for for H would be even more extreme. But so let's just have a look at, I really like to see if there are any pressure points. So I draw some horizontal lines just to see where the price bounces off those lines as support or resistance when it's traveling upwards. And if I can see something very obvious, then I put the line in. But so for instance, 3.2 cents, I sort of saw that as an important line. And I noticed Alligator Energy around about here in June 2025. And at that time, you could definitely clearly tell that there's this downward grind line, capping grind line is here at the top. But I thought that we had at the bottom we had something like this. I thought that was the line that we had at the bottom, and I thought it was a downward pointing wedge, which normally is a bullish thing. But then here it started breaking down, so I kept adjusting the line until, and in fact I started prematurely buying over here because I was excited. I started my first initial buy at 2.5 cents here, and I was very excited about AGE. I thought, my God, that was a sexy chart pattern. But it kept falling. And then I realized, that this was not a wedge. This was actually a bull flag. So if you draw a channel just to copy the line that I have here, you'll see that it basically matches the top. So when I realized that that was a bull flag, I got even more excited because the support line came in at 2 cents here, as well as the bull flag support was also at 2 cents or thereabouts, very close. So let's have a look at weekly. And interesting things to point out. Over here, we have Head and Shoulders. For those that don't believe in Head and Shoulders, I suggest you look into it a little bit more. Now this Head and Shoulders performed. Isn't that interesting how that all works? You draw that, and you take it here, and look at here. We have got our target. Now, As you can see, I have here drawn another channel that was going down, and it only got broken recently when the bull flag, the bottom of the bull flag, got acted as support for the share price. But can you see any other head and shoulders here, guys? It's there. It's quite visible, I think. It's slightly tilted, so that the line, the splitter line in the bull flag that I put in here, right in the middle, it actually acts as the head and shoulders line. Just look at it. There's the shoulder here. There's the head. Oops, I went through it. And there's another shoulder here. And you have, again, you have target reached. Look at it. It's breaking out. Target reached. Every time target is reached, head and shoulders, the share price takes a breather. Plus, it went so hard here that it broke through the descending capping grind line, descending capping grind line. And it tried to break it through, but it just ran out of puff. I mean, that was real excitement. Went from here, that's on the weekly, 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, 4, 5 weeks. Massive move. Now, I know that if you're backing the company, etc., it's very exciting, and you want to hold, and you want for it to go, keep going and keep going. But this is not how the real world works. The ocean works exactly the same way. The wave comes in, the wave comes out. That wave was a monster wave, but it needs time to digest the new reality and the gains, and it has to give up that. Then it went again because it was so excited. Now it's come down again. So anyway, that's the inverse head and shoulders. Now I have to show you that there was another head and shoulders in there. So if you look at daily, and you look here, this is around July, August to September, there's another head and shoulders here. And it is right here. And once again, there's a tiny shoulder here, head, and another shoulder. And the target here also, you could say, did it get met? Did it meet its target? Or yeah, you'd say 3.2. They did touch 3.2 on several occasions. So that was the target. It just barely squeezed it out. Okay. Let's go back to the weekly. So what do we have now? We have the upward momentum. You have basically a bull flag within the bull flag. that massive move, that took over 5 weeks, that's basically become a pole, and we have here a flag formation. So let's try to do something. See if we can make it something decent out of it. So that could be the flag formation, and perhaps we can draw a line in between, the halfway line. And it points to higher prices. And next few weeks, all the commodity markets will be bottoming out and turning, especially the precious metals. And I expect uranium is going to follow suit. And if we retrace this bull pole and we put it on perhaps here, so the immediate target from this small bull flag would be at 8.4 cents. Now, this line of 9 cents, perhaps it can overperform and hit the 9 cents, but it will probably rest for a little while at this level at 9 cents. Now, that secret line, that's one of the Fibonacci targets from a bigger bull flag. So even though obviously 8.5 cents, 8.4 cents, 9 cents is very exciting for AGE shareholders because current price is 3.9 and it's basically double your money from here in a very short order. What we have is way more exciting stuff if we look at weekly and the monthly. So let's have a look again. The big picture. This is why I'm so excited about this one, is because bull flags, once they get triggered, they basically repeat themselves. The target is very simple. This incline line that I have, the bull flag pole line, gets repeated, and you draw it from the bottom here. So here it was 1.9 cents. So you put the line, to 1.9 cents, and you see where that takes you. And where does it take you? Well, that takes you to $1.08.5. All right. And that is the faint line that I have here. That's basically the line that I have already drawn here. That's the line. So at first, when the share price was going sideways, I was a little bit disheartened, but then it rallied up, caught up to the line, and you can see that that can happen where you can have share price consolidating, going sideways, and then there's an announcement and something exciting happens and it starts going bananas. A lot of people will call me absolutely nuts and crazy for talking about the bull flag like this and saying, no way this is going to happen. And Well, let me show you um, a gold company, Alkane. Oops, is it KN? No, no, I got it just the wrong. Here we go, Alkane. And look at that, a very similar structure, bull flag, down, downward pointing, which is a bullish thing. And you have a repeat of what's happening here. This bull flag copied over to here. Where's it going? It's going to $3.20, right? I knew about this one when it was around 40 cents over here. And I said to myself, oh, this is such a good one to invest in. Did I invest in this one? No, I did not. Yeah, just to show people that bull flags work, and they work magnificently. So if you have a bull flag like this, Alkane, and it's basically going to target and timeline, and once we have precious metals turn in the next couple of weeks and start going up, and the target basically being June, August, September, Alkane, I bet my bottom dollar that Alkane's going to be here, $3 plus by September this year, at the very latest. Well, September, October. Let's say September, October. It will get here. It will. Be a believer. All right. So going back to AGE, why can't AGE do the same thing? And go from here to $1. $1.08. Now, these are, what are these lines? These lines in dashed here, this is Fibonacci retracement levels. That's the first one. Then there's the second one. This is a 50%. This one is 61.8%. Why I put a big dash line here? Because that becomes like a super important level where the share price normally tends to rest for a little bit. So you may have a really sharp ascent to get to this level, and then it will rest a little bit, and then it will continue on. Now, if it does that, if it rests around here, that's almost virtually guarantees the top target will get met, will be reached. So I'm very keenly waiting for this to happen, obviously, because I'm invested deeply in this. Now, what else do I have to tell you guys? The interesting thing over the last few months, I've noticed, especially here in this mini bull flag formation, I've noticed that AGE is following Cameco quite closely. Let's have a look at the Cameco chart. Did you see that? That's a bull flag, and that's a bull flag as well. Look at it. Does it look like a bull flag to you? It does to me. Well, pretty close. Pretty close. Oops. pretty close. But it, when you look at AGE and you look at Cameco, it is so close. So what I'd like to say is that Cameco is a real trendsetter currently for AGE. Now, if AGE makes an announcement and something amazing comes out, obviously it will run harder. But as we can see, not much of a difference between Cameco and an AGE, back and forth. Plus, in Cameco, I have to show you on the monthly. Oh, there's some interesting things here. Look at that ascent angle. It's still intact. It's climbed above it and it's going hard, Cameco. Cameco is in extremely bullish formation and is nothing stopping it at the moment. All the talk online officially is that uranium is going to be, there's going to be a shortfall of uranium from 2030 especially, and this the uranium is running out. The world is running out of uranium, that is. The big mines not producing as much, and this shortfall is going to increase with time, especially from 2030. So if AGE is going to start producing from 2030, well, that's just going to be an amazing thing for AGE, for Alligator Energy, because that's exactly when the world will be especially looking for replacement pounds. So I have no doubt that, having had a look at Cameco, having had a look at the uranium futures, right? And having had a look at AGE and what's happening here, I have absolutely no doubt that this is the future for AGE is bright. It cannot be anything but. Now, why did I? There are many other companies that are involved in uranium space in Australia on the ASX. There are quite a few worthwhile to mention, and they are Paladin, of course. That's one of the biggest. You have Lotus Resources, you have Bannerman Energy, you have Boss Energy, you have Deep Yellow, you have Next Gen Energy, which is a CHESS depository interest of the nicely listed Next Gen. Right, so you have these companies that are good companies. But when you look at the chart, and you look at the monthly, and you compare AGE to, let's have a look at Paladin. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm very happy with this kind of draw, but people are gonna laugh at me online. Look at that $129 target for Paladin in February 27th, right? What about Lot? Oh, we have another good one. But the chart pattern, what's this one pointing to? It's pointing to $41, right? Yeah. But how do I feel about this chart pattern? Not as good as the AGE one. I like AGE way more. Look at that bull flag. It is just super sexy, right? Lot doesn't really give me that much happiness. Bannerman, Oh, that one's pointing up, which is could be all right, but I mean it could. Uh, they always say that wedges that point upwards, they tend to um, break out downwards. So, but um, I have heard um, of also wedges breaking out upwards when it's very bullish environment for the underlying stock. So it is possible that technically you look at this chart pattern and it's not as exciting as the others because that pattern doesn't work as often substantially in your favor. What's the next one? Let's have a look. Okay, Boss Energy got hammered recently from nearly $5 all the way to $7. What a bargain to pick up over here. My goodness. People are crazy selling it off that much because guidance wasn't met, or this or other, or there's a uncertainty in the guidance. But yeah, there's your bull flag, perhaps, right? And you may have um, um, a rally through here and then a break upwards. So let's have a look. What's that pointing to? Okay, $19 roughly. All right, it is possible. It's not too bad. All right. What about Dill? Dill's it's a interesting one as well. Deep yellow. That's some crazy shit going on here. Again, some people say this will break to the bottom, but if the uranium sector becomes super positive, well, that will break upwards too. I mean, it is possible that it may flush you out to the bottom and try to do something like that. And then, oopsie, goodness gracious, how horrible the drawing. Can't do it. Not used to this laptop. Sorry, guys. But, you know, um, that is a possibility that it will go to, $40. Deep Yellow is a good company. They have good assets. And in the uranium bull market, anything is possible. That these chart patterns will actually play out. But my favorite chart pattern, once again coming back to this situation, and let me just put on volume indicator that shows all the volume. As you can see, majority of the volume is here. So once it gets to this level of this mini bull flag over here at 8 cents, there's almost no volume above it. So it's like almost clear skies. The bull conditions in the uranium market that are basically in front of us. This is going to make Alligator Energy fly. I'm very, very positive on this one. I can't help myself. So, what does Chile Capital think about the future? How to trade this? Well, everybody's different. Some people trade the swings, and like waves in the ocean. You sell at the top, you buy towards the bottom. You don't nail the exact top and bottom, but you take a big chunk out, and then you repeat the process. Sell at the top, buy at the bottom, sell at the top, buy at the bottom, and increase your shareholding as you go along. What does Chile Capital has done? Well, Chile Capital has invested in AGE through their options that are also traded on the stock exchange under the code of AGE.asx. They were listed very recently, so they were listed around this time over here, and so we got in. We started buying them once we sold our AGE shares, because we bought our AGE shares from 2.5 cents all the way down to 1.9 cents. And then we did not get out at the top of 3.2 cents. We actually got out at around about 2.6 cents, and we put all those proceeds into the options of AGE or AGE-OD, and we started buying those at 0.4, which was the absolute bottom, and half a cent, and then 6 and 0.7 and 0.8, and currently we've been topping up at 1.3 cents and 1.4 and even as high as 1.5 cents. We've accumulated a big position, and if you look at the chart for that, basically it mimics the chart of AGE shares, but this has a much bigger potential than your AGE shares, because currently you can buy the shares for 3.9 cents or 4 cents, and the options are at 1.3. So they do have an expiry in September 2027, I believe, with an exercise price of 4.7 cents. So hypothetically, if the shares just meandered and did nothing and ended up at less than 4.7 cents, those options will be worthless. But if the chart, as the chart is showing, if we have a breakout of this bull flag and it goes to target, right, which is over here. So the target we have is month of June to July of $1.08. And if the shares go to, let's just call it, $1.08, whatever, minus the exercise price of 4.7, the options should be worth around about $1.02, $1.03. So something that you have bought for 1.3 cents could become worth $1.02. So your return buying shares at 3.9 cents or buying options at 1.3 cents, your return on the options would be magnified substantially. And that's why Chile Capital has bought the position of these options, and we're not too stressed about swings here and there. We intend to hold almost all the way to the end, and this is the horizontal line, which signifies when the options will be expiring, and that's the time that you need to make a decision what you want to do with those options. Even if the share price goes to, halfway and stalls a little bit, or even if it stalls around, 40 cents, um, or 30 cents or 20 cents, this is going to be a good trade for us. We will be very happy with the outcome. But I do believe that um, with the commodity bull market ahead of us, and the fact that we have shortages in the uranium market, and the fact that we have no new mines opening up, and no one's looking for new uranium, so we're going to have a very tight market. Prices are going to rise. Um, Inflation is going up. All those stresses and monetary crisis around the world is going to cause all the commodities to go up in various degrees, and uranium is no exception. And we're going to be um, in for a bull market in the uranium and the stocks as well. And I believe that out of all the charts that of the uranium companies on the ASX stock exchange, Alligator Energy chart is by far the sexiest, the best looking one, and has the best potential of significant re-rate. In conclusion, I would like to thank you very much for watching this very long video on technical analysis, the way I see things about the uranium stocks, the way I see things for Alligator Energy. Um, it is a beautiful setup that still hasn't fully triggered. The bull flag is just about to trigger, as you can see. Very interestingly, we have a mini bull flag within a giant bull flag that goes on for many years. So it's very exciting to see what's going to happen over the next couple of weeks and months. But we have all the way till basically June, July. Um, did I say June, July? I think it was, yeah, June, July is the target time-wise for this to pan out. Um, Interestingly, like I said, those options expire in September, so that works very, very nicely with our option strategy on AGE. And we are going to be doing what Jesse Livermore did when he made his money, the original plunger boy. He made most of his money, the best money that he's made was just by sitting, getting into a position of substance and just waiting for that to translate into a proper payday. So that's what we are here for, and that's what I'm sharing with you guys here. There's still plenty of time for you to get in because this pattern hasn't even fully triggered yet, and it looks like it will. And just again, a reminder that we are also waiting for the uranium futures to trigger the cup and handle, which is going to be a further confirmation that we are in for an amazing period of gains going forward. But I wish everybody who's a shareholder in Australian uranium companies best of luck and success. Um, and a lot of those companies are fantastic companies, and that will have amazing returns. I have thrown in my lot with Alligator Energy. I think it's, once again, the sexiest chart that's out there.